You know, when people talk about the first female gangster rappers in hip-hop, one name that almost never comes up is Boss. And that's crazy because to many people's knowledge, she was actually the very first female gangster rapper in the game, way before artists like Lady of Rage. And what makes it even wilder is that when people talk about Detroit rappers, her name is rarely mentioned, even though she came years before Eminem and D12. But Boss wasn't just about image. She really had bars. She was lyrical. She was nice. And yet, she only got to release one official album before her health started giving her serious problems. And today, we're finally going to get into her story, right now. Boss was born Lachelle Marie Laws on September 12, 1969 in Detroit, Michigan. And she was the youngest of two sisters, raised in a middle-class household with a strong religious background. Because her mother was a school teacher, her father worked as an auto worker, and they were also church deacons. So growing up, her life was actually very structured and proper. She grew up on the west side of Detroit, just south of 8 Mile, went to private Catholic school, and even though people later tried to call her fake, the truth is she was captain of her cheerleading team, part of the homecoming court, took ballet classes, and lived a very normal upbringing. But by the time she hit high school, she fell in love with hip-hop and started writing her own rhymes over other rappers' beats, even performing her first official show in 9th grade at a school function. And she really wanted to be like her older sister Carol, also known as Cap, who was already rapping and DJing in clubs at night, which pushed her even harder to chase music. After graduating high school, she went to Oakland Community College near Detroit, but college didn't last long because deep down she knew she didn't want a regular life. She wanted to be a gangster rapper. And ever since she was a teenager, she had been obsessed with hip-hop, especially West Coast rap. Even though she loved artists like LL Cool J, Public Enemy, and the Fat Boys, her biggest influence was NWA. And on top of that, she loved being in the streets and hanging around that energy. She started winning rap battles all around Detroit, became very popular locally, recorded songs in home studios, and even released a track called Knowledge is Power on a Tune Up Records compilation while going by the name Lady the Boss. But she also knew that if she really wanted to make it big and get a major deal, she would have to leave Detroit. So she and her close friend Dee moved to New York to chase a record deal. But things didn't go as planned because labels kept telling her that she didn't use enough profanity, didn't talk enough about guns, killing, drugs, and violence. And on top of that, they didn't really want to deal with a female rapper at all. So after facing rejection over and over again, Boss made a decision that changed her whole image. She decided if the industry wanted a gangster, then she would give them one. She switched up her look, started wearing full gangster attire, and headed straight to California, eventually landing in Compton. Life in California was brutal. For almost 2 years, Boss and Dee were homeless with no money and no jobs, sleeping at bus stops, on park benches, sneaking into hotels just to shower, eating bags of chips to survive, and just trying to stay alive while chasing a rap career. They even sold drugs just to make money and constantly had to deal with dangerous situations, including sexual predators who tried to harm them. And Boss later said living in LA during that time was extremely dangerous, but eventually they met a woman who let them stay with her, which finally gave Boss the chance to focus on music again and start meeting people in the industry. She began connecting with producers and artists, and at one point worked with a rapper named D. Jeff, but she didn't like his beats because they weren't gangster enough for her, so she left and kept grinding, later ending up on AMG's song My Sister Is a Bitch, recording Diary of a Mad Bitch for the Zebrahead soundtrack, and even having her song I Don't Give a F played in the movie. And that's when Russell Simmons heard about her. He had heard her verse and was impressed, and since he had just launched Def Jam West to focus on West Coast talent, he decided to sign Boss and make her his personal project, turning her into the label's first hardcore female gangster rap act. In May of 1993, Boss released her debut album, Born Gangsters, and the album was a massive success, hitting number 22 on the Billboard 200, number 3 on the top R&B and hip-hop charts, and eventually going gold, with her first single, Deeper, reaching number 1 on the Hot Rap Singles chart and staying on the Billboard Hot 100 for 13 weeks. And that song stood out because of the Barry White sample and how lyrical Boss was on the track, proving she wasn't just image. And then her second single, Recipe of a Hoe, also went number 1, and songs like Progress of Elimination, Born Gangster, and Drive By made the album a classic, even having the Hughes brothers direct one of her videos.
With all this success, Boss went on tour with legends like Drive Dre, Snoop Dogg, Run DMC, and Onyx, and even Tupac wanted her indeed to join his group Thug Life because he believed they were the best female rap group in the game at that time. But right when everything was going right, things started falling apart. Boss and D began having serious creative differences, fighting constantly, and eventually went their separate ways. And not long after that, controversy hit when an interview with the Wall Street Journal exposed her middle-class upbringing, causing critics to label her fake, even though her own mother had already explained her upbringing on the intro of her album. After that, Boss moved to Texas, started a family, and was pressured by Russell Simmons to finish her second album. But when she did, Def Jam rejected the project, stopped returning her calls, and quietly dropped her from the label. And just like that, her momentum was gone. She later took a job in Dallas as a radio co-host, interviewing artists like Biggie, Busta, and Yo-Yo. But behind the scenes, her health was falling apart because years of heavy drinking during her struggle days in LA had destroyed her kidneys. Her kidneys began failing badly. She went on dialysis for more than 3 years, lost a dangerous amount of weight, and at one point, doctors told her she wouldn't survive without a transplant, which is why she disappeared from the public eye for so long. But luckily, a donor stepped in and saved her life. And even after that, she continued to record music, releasing mixtapes and appearing on songs while taking dozens of pills every day just to survive. But her health never fully recovered. In her later years, she suffered a stroke and seizures, struggled with medical bills, and in 2021, she started a GoFundMe to help pay for treatment. But sadly, on March 11, 2024, Boss passed away from kidney failure at the age of 54 in Southfield, Michigan. And after her death, the hip-hop community finally gave her the respect she deserved, with artists like Bun B, Curtis Blow, MC Search, and even Eminem honoring her as a pioneer and a true lyricist who opened doors for female gangster rappers. And even though her name may not always be mentioned, her impact on hip-hop will never be erased, because Boss was really that MC, and her legacy will live forever.